Although MetaRunner Season 2 ended all the way back in December, there's no shortage of theories and speculation regarding not only MetaRunner Season 3, but the future of the series as a whole. In this video, I'll be giving you all some of my own theories as for what the future of MetaRunner may hold. Let's begin. Now, before I go any further, I would like to point out that there will, in fact, be spoilers for MetaRunner Season 2. So if you've not seen MetaRunner Season 2 yet, I highly recommend clicking off of this video. Have you done it? I'm assuming that most of you have. MetaRunner Season 2 was nothing short of amazing. Comparing both seasons, you can immediately notice the amount of work and effort put into making Season 2 the best it can be. Everything from the animation, character designs, etc. were improved. With all the new improvements in the series, it makes sense that the story and writing would receive some improvements as well. Not to say that Season 1's story wasn't good, but it was more so just laying down the groundwork for something much bigger. Season 2 really gave us a deeper look at some of the characters we've already grown to love, while also introducing two brand new characters in the form of both Marco and Evelyn. Both of these characters seem like they'll be incredibly important in Season 3, which makes sense considering that they were both featured towards the end of the Season 2 finale. However, let me throw those two to the side for a bit to talk about, you guessed it, Dr. Sheridan. This dude has gone completely cracked out of his mind. He's definitely going to pose a major threat for MD5 and potentially all of Silica City throughout the entirety of Season 3, making him MetaRunner's new main villain since Lux is supposedly dead. Yes, I said supposedly, but let's save that video for another day. However, for this video, I'm going to be treating it like Lux is actually dead. If Dr. Sheridan truly is the new main villain, he must have some motive, right? Let's look back at Dr. Sheridan throughout Season 1, which we were able to see through a series of recordings found on an SD card. He looked to be just some random overworked scientist who was pouring his heart and soul into a project and only wanted a bit of recognition. A bit of a My Virtual Escape situation if you ask me. That project I mentioned is obviously referring to Project Blue, and Dr. Sheridan was using it as a way of hoping to finally impress Lux, but to no avail. After the explosion that left both Lucinia and Dr. Sheridan severely injured, Dr. Sheridan knew something wasn't right. How could something like that happen? He had tested everything to perfection, and after a bit of time looking into it, he came up with the conclusion that someone had tampered with Project Blue, causing the explosion. With this knowledge, Dr. Sheridan went into hiding to analyze the clues he had in regards to the true culprit. It wasn't long until he realized it was Lux. At that moment, the only thing going through his mind was revenge. However, he couldn't plot revenge on Lux all alone, so he went to someone who was also seeking revenge. I think you all know where I'm going with this. In Season 2, Episode 3, we were introduced to Marco. He's a very important person in the low tier, basically MetaRunner's version of the underground/black market. He runs a popular gaming tournament that gives winners big rewards at the risk of potentially losing their MetaRunner arm. Towards the end of the episode, it's revealed that Masa used a device that caused Marco's robotic arms to malfunction, allowing Masa to cheat during the Turbo Crash 9 tournament. Which, for some reason, cheating is looked down upon in the MetaRunner universe despite the fact that MetaRunner arms are basically cheating. Rant aside, it seems only natural that Marco, being someone who doesn't like to lose, would want revenge on Masa for cheating. So, after a series of events unfold, Dr. Sheridan and Marco make a deal with each other so that they can seek revenge on both targets. Dr. Sheridan would have Masa kill Lux, which would obviously make Dr. Sheridan happy now that the man he hated so much is dead. But Marco would be pretty happy as well, knowing that he was able to ruin Masa's life. Now, what does Dr. Sheridan get for causing all this to happen? Well, he gets Tari, of course. At the end of the Season 2 finale, Marco shows up out of nowhere offering the gang a ride. But what if that was all just a ploy to get a hold of Tari and bring her to Dr. Sheridan? Maybe that's how he plans to give Evelyn similar abilities to Tari. One more thing I would like to mention is discussing the possibility of Dr. Sheridan being Masa's annoying neighbor from Season 2, Episode 2, as well as the guy that Masa bumped into in Season 2, Episode 8. This is a popular theory that I've seen several people mention, and I can totally see why people think this. Dr. Sheridan was wearing something identical at the end of the Season 2 finale after all. Also, how did Masa get his hands on the device that he used to cheat? Which just so happens to be the same device planted on Masa's arm, which ultimately led to Lux's demise. Well, maybe that's one of the reasons why Masa was competing in video game tournaments in the low tier, to earn enough money to purchase these devices, or perhaps to settle a debt he owed in relation to that. His neighbor could very well be the person supplying him those devices. That might also explain why he seems to never lose any tournaments. On a side note, what's up with this dude Lamar? Don't get me wrong, this anime-loving weeb is one of my favorite characters. However, he's the only member of MD5 who hasn't given a reason for wanting revenge on TazCorp, despite having said this in Season 1, Episode 5.
Let's just say, they destroyed many lives, including ours.
Emphasis on ours. He didn't say including Masa and Sophia's, he said including ours, implying that TazCorp did something to him too. So let's give my boy Lamar a backstory in Meta Runner Season 3. Finally, let's talk about the fate of both Masa and Bell in Season 3. Things aren't looking too good for these characters. I mean, Masa basically committed murder, and Bell was involved in covering up a lot of the shady things that TazCorp did. So unfortunately, it looks like both of them can expect some time behind bars. This could also mean that we'll finally get to see what Silicon City's police are like. I gave a lot of thought as to what we'll see from their point of view in Season 3, and I was tempted to talk about them potentially trying to prove their innocence. However, I personally think it would be a lot cooler to see both Masa and Bell team up to escape prison. Sure, it would mean that they would both become escaped convicts, and that never looks good on a resume, but honestly, I think at this point they don't really have anything left to lose, other than Masa's arm again, of course. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up the video. I hope this wasn't at all confusing. However, knowing how I usually explain things, it probably was. I could just be overthinking things, but honestly, I could see most, if not all of this happening. I guess only time will tell. This was out of my comfort zone when it comes to the usual types of videos I make, but I really hope you all enjoyed watching, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to show your support by dropping a like on this video, and be sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all my content. But with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Until next time guys, I've been Zelda Inferno, and I'll see you later. Bye!